Hello everybody, it is smallpups here, and as you obviously know, I love Idv. So I was brainstorming video ideas, and I thought of icebergs. I really like iceberg videos, they're one of my favorite videos to watch, and they're pretty popular right now. So I figured I could try to make my own. What of? Well, Idv, because I love it. So this iceberg was made by Twitter user @JoshowTime. So thank you to JoshowTime, and their Twitter will be in the description, so check it out. Alright, so obviously we will start with tier 1. Dead by Daylight clone. This is understandable. Idv is a Dead by Daylight clone. This isn't true, but they are both a quote-unquote asymmetrical 4 versus 1 horror game. The Dead by Daylight devs actually helped and supported the creation of Idv. There's a nice video on Idv's YouTube that features Dead by Daylight devs, game director Matthew Cote, and product manager Alex Lynn giving their advice as consultants for NetEase. Idv. I assume this simply refers to the way people pronounce Idv's title, as it is often shortened to Idv. V means 5, so technically it should be ID5, but most people say Idv, such as myself. Identity V ripped off Coraline. People say this because Idv characters have buttons for eyes, similar to Coraline. There may also be certain pieces of concept art that copies Coraline. This is unconfirmed, but we'll talk about it later. And just like that, we're done tier 1, so we'll move on to tier 2. The first entry is Fancy a Game. Identity V has an auto message when you share the game to Twitter, which reads, "I'm playing Identity V. Fancy a game?" The next entry is Thank You, which used to be a quick message in-game that, for the most part, it wasn't used the way it was supposed to. It would most often be spammed by toxic players when someone did something wrong or made a mistake. It's now removed from the game, and you can only say thank you in return to somebody healing you or saving you. Something's off in your lobby. This is a notice you get in-game when you are given a special lantern offer, which is usually just cosmetics at a reduced price. Gaming Grizzly. I'm not really sure why he's on the iceberg, but Gaming Grizzly is an Identity V YouTuber. I am subscribed. Howdy B. Howdy B is another YouTuber. He used to make Identity V content, but now he mostly focuses on Genshin Impact. Character Diaries. Character Diaries are basically Identity V's story mode. Once you finish certain characters' deductions, their diary is unlocked and you can play a couple short stories of their lives during their time at the Manor. The only characters who have diaries so far are Gardener, Doctor, Lawyer, Thief, Forward, and Magician. NetEase is working on Mercenaries as we speak. Alright, and we're on to tier 3 already. Rank queue time. Simply put, rank queue time can be really long. I've had queue times over 45 minutes. I've seen even worse examples. Fake Friendlies. Fake Friendlies are hunters who act friendly, which usually means that they're not attacking and they're spinning in circles, and then suddenly attacking, getting the survivors off guard. So they faked being friendly. Mama Michiko. I'm honestly not sure what this entry is referring to. I can't really find anything about it, so I can only assume it's about Geisha's costume, Lady 13? In the Season 10 Essence 3 lore, it is generally accepted as a fan theory that Michiko is Sparrow Norton's mother. So, that's really the only thing I can think of. Crossover skins. Identity V has many crossover skins. They do collabs with animes, brands, and even stores. To name a few, they've done collabs with Danganronpa, Death Note, Line Friends, and even Lawson, which is a convenience store in Japan. 69. 69, the funny sex number. 69 is the traits that a player can bring into battle. 6 is Tide Turner, which gives the rescuer and rescued immortality for a short amount of time. 9 is Broken Windows, which is good for kiting and gives speed boosts when vaulting. 69 is commonly used when playing solo and not knowing what your teammates will bring. Characters' eyes before buttons. In the development of IDV, characters originally had eyes instead of buttons. It was meant to be more realistic, but for the release of the game, they made the survivors dolls for rating reasons. Mary is a lesbian. It is a common headcanon that Mary, or Bloody Queen, is a lesbian, or maybe bisexual, as her deductions hint at a lesbian relationship between her and her closest friend, Princess Lammal. Lamball? I don't know. Her deduction says, such a relationship makes the young and lonely queen lightheaded. I heard there is a shameful secret about the two of them. Interpret this as you will. Hullabaloo lore. This is referring to, well, Hullabaloo's circus's lore. It's vague, so I'll try my best to explain. An animal tamer named Margaretha, aka Natalie, which is female dancer's Elias, and a clown named Sergey, who was the smiling clown of the circus, are in a relationship. Joker, who is the weeping clown, falls in love with Natalie and eventually notices scars on her back, so he confronts Sergey about it, and soon is burned by acid on his face. It's unknown who did it, but Mike, who is Acrobat, owns chemical bombs, so he is suspect, but he denies doing it. Mike does say, however, that a bottle of his acid was stolen. I personally assume it was Sergey due to Joker's confrontation. Either way, the burns are put off as an accidental fire. After this incident, a murderer kills everybody in the circus except for Mike and Natalie, who left the circus just before the massacre happened. The murderer is assumed to be Joker, and after killing Sergey, Joker took his face. Mask or literal face is unknown. But anyway, Joker took on the Elias as Smiley Face. Wu Chang aren't brothers. As far as I am aware, they aren't brothers, but are sworn brothers. Si Bian and Fan Wuju are the respective names of the White Guard and Black Guard. They are extremely close and almost never leave each other's side. There are many official artworks of them being intimate and holding hands. Sworn brothers is a trope often used in media to portray gay characters while not outright saying they are gay, so this is kind of a way to get around censorship. But again, it's all up to interpretation. Spidery Figure within lobby. Honestly, nothing is known of this figure. It appears outside the window when waiting for a match and while readying up for a match. I think it's simply there for the spooky factor. Hunter x Survivor is toxic. Survivor x Hunter refers to shipping. Some people see it as toxic, as the hunters are, well, hunting the survivors. In my opinion, this completely disregards the lore. Both factions are being forced to participate in the game. Neither side is really good or evil. Especially with the introduction of the identity system, you gotta be pretty silly to still think it's toxic. We are on to tier 4. They call him the Merc. This is a well-memed fan song about mercenary. That's it. It's funny and the English chats like to spam it. Have a listen.
They call me the Merc, I'm all for the work. If the fallen won't hurt, I stole to divert his attention. Others escape if he gets me down to crawl in the dirt. They call me the Merc. Call me the Merc. He can get me down, but to kill me, he really gonna work or get murked.
Thief Scream. This refers to Thief's shout emote. Again, it's just a funny emote that people like to spam and meme. Tora. Tora is the Japanese name of Sears' longing tiger costume. People will commonly call Sears with the skin Tora-chan. Tora simply means tiger in Japanese. Beta version. I believe this entry refers to how the beta versions of the game were much darker than the finished versions. For example, survivors were hung on nooses instead of placed in rocket chairs. There was much more blood, both on maps and present when getting hit, and there were some gorier weapons used, such as Smiley Face having a chainsaw. Shippers throwing matches. This is exactly as it says. Shippers throwing matches based on character picks. The most common form of this is hunters who go friendly for their favorite survivors, but sometimes survivors won't run from the hunter and will let themselves be caught. The most common offenders of this is Joseph, aka Photographer, and Aesop, aka Embalmer. No hate towards Jose Carl, it's just really popular. Joseph's age was never confirmed. No one actually knows Joseph's age. It was implied in his deductions that he lived to an old age, but in-game, his appearance is that of a young man. This is likely because he travels into photographs featuring his past self. Martha and Helena are minors. Martha, coordinator, and Helena, the mind's eye, are not minors, but the confusion is understandable. They are below the legal drinking age, hence why they cannot drink barmaid's mixes. Martha is 20 and Helena is 19. The legal drinking age in the US is 21. The Asylum Massacre. This refers to the massacre at the White Sand Street Asylum, most likely carried out by Robbie White or Axe Boy's sister, Dolores White. They joined the orphanage after their parents died, and it was soon after bought by a church who rebranded it as a mental asylum. Dolores didn't trust the new doctors and wouldn't let Robbie take the medicine they prescribed him. She would secretly take it instead. One night, Robbie came to visit her, but the amount of medicine she had taken made her delirious, and she was taken away by doctors. Robbie tried to visit her afterwards, but the broken window to Dolores' room slammed down on him and decapitated him. After this, someone in the asylum went into a frenzied rampage and caused multiple casualties. This is widely assumed to be Dolores. English 3. English 3 is a chat in-game where English-speaking, and a lot of Spanish-speaking players can chat. It's often very cursed, and the conversations going on there are not worth the brain cells to read. Merc No Tide. Merc is Mercenary, who is a Rescuer class survivor. Tide means Tide Turner, which is a talent trait we already talked about. Basically, when someone who has Tide saves another survivor from a rocket chair, it will grant them both immunity for a short amount of time. Merc, being a Rescuer, should pretty much always have Tide, but there are some goobers who play him without. The PX Identity 5 community/gaming server. I can't find much on this entry, but from what I've gathered, this Discord server was taken down because of one of its members spam reporting other servers. I really couldn't find much on this, I'm sorry. Halloween-themed Red Church. Red Church is a special Halloween version for, well, Halloween. It's overall darker and has Halloween decorations. It can only be accessed through custom games as of right now. Kid-friendly version. This is a common saying online. Identity V is a kid-friendly version of Dead by Daylight. Cockroach. Certain members of the community, mostly hunters, call Priestess a cockroach. This is because she scuttles around so much with her portals, she can appear anywhere, and can be hard to kill. Mario Kart game mode. Mario Kart game mode refers to the game mode Chasing Shadows. In this mode, survivors race and pick up items to use to slow others down. Whoever comes in first wins. Kevin is a simp. Kevin, aka Cowboy, is known to be a charming and flirtatious character when around women. He even gets buffs in-game if he's near female characters. I personally wouldn't call him a simp, he's just kind of a macho man who wants to protect those weaker than him. Of course, not saying women are weak, but, you know, biologically, women are weaker than men, so he wants to protect them. He harbors extreme guilt due to losing a female childhood friend, and in his mind, he failed to protect her. Alright, Tier 5. Career? No. This is a meme in the community started by Eli Clark, aka Sears, character page on the official IDV website. Where it lists his career, it simply says no. This is likely a translation error. Mary isn't actually French. Mary is based on the real-life historical figure Marie Antoinette. She was the Queen of France before the French Revolution. But she wasn't actually French. She was Austrian. So the theory is that Mary is also not French, but Austrian. This really just depends on how much NetEase borrowed from her real life. Survivors were hanged and killed in the beta. This is exactly as it says. Rocket chairs didn't exist during early betas. Instead, survivors were hanged on nooses. There's even a pretty dark photo of Magician's head cut off after he hanged.
What is that?
Dancers' idle animations. The only thing I can find regarding this is that Margie, aka Female Dancer, has 2 different special idle animations for when she idles in range of her 2 different music boxes. Prospector launching off stairs. Prospector can use his magnets to launch himself into the air if he is going upstairs. Puddles affecting your speed. In-game, puddles of mud slow you down. This is never directly explained and is just something that you learn with experience. Barbed wire on rocket chairs. The earlier design for rocket chairs had barbed wire keeping the survivor tied to the chair. This has now been removed due to Chinese censorship, and it is now a padded bar similar to carnival rides. The tram could down you. This is exactly as it says. The tram on the Ever Sleeping Town map used to be able to down survivors. Statue moving in hospital. On the map Sacred Heart Hospital, there is a statue whose head moves to face the nearest survivor. So, if you've ever been playing on Sacred Heart Hospital and heard an unexplained grinding sound, it's the statue turning its head. Faces modeled under masks. This is another entry that is exactly as it says. Some characters have fully modeled faces under their masks, despite the mask never coming off. Some don't, though. Entomologist is the best example for this entry. All credit goes to Twitter user Cypher Machine P for these renders. Check them out on Twitter for some good Identity reference images. Double teaming is toxic. Camping is toxic. Everything is toxic. This is in general a meme within the community, usually picking fun at whiny survivors who don't like how hunters play. Double teaming happens in the mode duo hunters, and it is when 2 hunters go after 1 survivor. Camping is a legitimate strat in regular game modes where hunters will sit by rocket chairs and wait for someone to come rescue. Fast food crossovers. IDV has a couple fast food crossovers. I think they're pretty funny. A fan favorite is McDonald's Norton. All Jack mains are toxic. I believe this is only said by people who just don't like Jack, aka the Ripper. To be honest though, not liking him is pretty valid considering he's based on a real-life serial killer. Mechanic made Soul Weaver's body. This is simply a theory that Violetta, aka Soul Weaver's prosthetic body is made by Tracy Resnick, aka Mechanic. In Violetta's background lore, it says with the help of a mechanic, Violetta installed flexible mechanical prosthetics and a few sophisticated gadgets on herself and created a new show, Human Spider Show. So, this does not confirm or deny that it is our Tracy. Ship drama. Like any fandom, IDV has its fair share of shipping drama. It's the usual stuff. This ship is bad, this ship is boring, so and so are strictly gay or straight. We've already touched on the anti-Hunter x Survivor crowd. Honestly, it's all garbage, and I personally just stay away from the negative people. Weddings in Red Church. I assume this refers to in-game pretend weddings that players put together. The map Red Church has a wedding venue, and players like to pretend that they're getting married to each other. Usually a third party participates as a priest. This entry could also reference the actual lore of the map, which says that a wedding was supposed to take place there, but the bride mysteriously disappeared before she could wed. China exclusive content. Identity V is a Chinese game made in China by Chinese people. As such, there are exclusive pieces of content only available on the Chinese and Asian servers, such as certain events and cosmetics. Some examples include the Lost in crossover skin for Acrobat, the Tea House Tales events, the Oppo crossover skins, and the Oreo crossover items. Alright, we are on to tier 6. Murrow and Mike are cousins. Murrow, aka Wilding, and Mike, Acrobat, are not true cousins by blood, but you could consider them cousins in a way. Bernard, Hullabaloo's ringleader, had a nephew, Murrow, who he raised. He also adopted Mike and raised him. They do have the same name, however. Also, Murrow was kept in a cage, so I don't know if him and Mike ever even met. Yikes. Mad Eye's camera model. Unfortunately, I cannot find what the fuck this means. Let me know if you know. Paganini. This entry refers to Niccolo Paganini, I think. He is a real-life musician of which our beloved Antonio, aka Violinist, is based off of. Antonio really is just like this guy. He is known to be an alcoholic, a gambler, and a womanizer. There were also rumors that he sold his soul to the devil to become so good at playing the violin, much like how the devil has possessed Antonio. Lion interacting with female dancer. This is a pretty cute entry. The lion on Moonlight River Park will nuzzle its head against its cage's bars and lay down when female dancer is near it. This is because, as stated earlier, she worked as an animal tamer for the circus. Lawyer is OP. This is a meme in the community, as Lawyer can be pretty good if played in specific ways, but is overall average when played by the majority of players. People also use this meme to pick fun at his buffs, such as the hunter not being able to Terra shock him. Bad Identity 5 YouTube ads. IDV has had a bad streak of cringy YouTube ads. They usually don't show anything to do with the actual game and will feature characters doing outlandish things. Big Daddy. Big Daddy is a side character in Postman's Deductions. He was the leader of the gang Victor worked for. Big Daddy could be a strange translation, as the original Chinese is simply Old Dad. S unlock cards. Unlock cards are items in-game that will grant you one free skin of your choice depending on the tier. Identity V most commonly gives out B tier unlock cards, occasionally A tiers, and S tier unlock cards are only given out as competition rewards. The extensive Call of the Abyss lore. This is exactly as it says. COA is IDV's esports tournament event. It happens once a year, and new essences with new lore come out along with it. Each year has had a different story with different characters. It's so extensive that I will not go into it here, but here is a tiny description of each. COA 1. Gardener, Doctor, Thief, Lawyer, Coordinator, and Hell Ember have pirate-themed skins. COA 2. The Mind's Eye, Mercenary, Perfumer, Magician, and the Ripper have steampunk-themed skins. COA 3. Mechanic, Cowboy, Seer, Embalmer, Female Dancer, and Smiley Face have Lovecraftian Mafia-themed skins. COA 4, Prospector, Barmaid, Acrobat, Wilding, Priestess, and Gamekeeper have racing-themed skins. And now the most recent, COA 5, Forward, Prisoner, Enchantress, Postman, First Officer, and Geisha have City of Lights, or Metropolis-themed skins. Catch Me Rider. Catch Me Rider is a quote from Priestess in the COA 4 trailer. She says this to Prospector, and as far as I know, it's just a taunt, but it's stuck, and now the fandom likes to meme it. Censoring. I'm not sure if this entry means all censoring or a specific case, but there's a lot of censoring in IDV. China has strict censorship laws, which have resulted in many changes. For example, a lot of characters' weapons are changed. Lucino, aka the evil reptilian, uses a pair of forceps instead of his usual knife. And Robbie, aka Axeboy, doesn't have an axe. It's a piece of wood that looks like an axe. Blood and gore have also been censored to keep the game's rating down. IDV also heavily censors its chat. Most notably, you cannot use queer terminology or swear. Postman was a part of the Mafia. This is true. Postman worked as a postman for the Mafia. As stated earlier, his boss was the man known as Big Daddy. Old Ever-Sleeping Map. The map Ever-Sleeping Town used to be a lot bigger, having a school and a residential district, but it was scaled back after release. Now the larger version of the map exists for the Duo Hunters game mode, but it is very rare. Pink window within a window. I originally couldn't find anything for this entry, but as I dwelled on it, I remembered that the windmill in Lakeside Village has pink windows. So I went in-game and checked them out, and they are indeed a window inside of another window. And they're pink, and there's also a butterfly there, I'm not sure what that means. Luca Flossing. Luca, aka Prisoner, has an emote where he flosses. Acrobat has beef with female dancer. Mike dislikes Margie because he believes she is the one that caused the Hullabaloo fire and murders. 5. Darling. This refers to Mike's 5th deduction, which is titled Darling. It says, how people call each other often reflects the degree to which the relationship has developed. Then concludes with, I love nitre. As long as it's mixed with water, even a hot summer day can become refreshing. Bernard's reaction is hilarious. He even called me Dear Mr. Mike Morton. Oh Bernard, I want to hear it again. Next time, I'll make sure to put my cold hands down your collar. Bernard is Mike's adopted father. Theorize about this as you'd like. Some people take it in a creepy way, others don't. The magician is racist. Magician is not racist. During William aka Forward's diaries, Servius aka Magician supposedly calls him barbaric and an uncivilized man, but this isn't actually true as Magician was talking about Murrow at the time. Botched Abortion. This is in reference to both Doctor's and Gardner's lore. Gardner's mother, Martha, went to Emily aka Doctor's clinic, where she offered legal abortions. Sadly, something was wrong with the abortion, and Emily accidentally killed Martha. Characters being misinterpreted. Unfortunately, this happens a lot in the Identity V fandom. I am really not making this fandom look good for this video. I'd say the biggest offender is how certain people portray Aesop aka Embalmer as an ooh-woo soft boy when he's literally a murderer. They do this with a lot of characters actually. Another bad one to bring up on Twitter is Creature aka Thief. Don't even say his name, you'll get cancelled. Joe's Carl, Jack Knibe, and Tauntaun controversy. Joe's Carl, which is photographer x Embalmer, and Jack Knibe, which is Ripper x Mercenary, have controversy surrounding them because they are Hunter x Survivor, which we already talked about. The Tauntaun, which is Prospector and Acrobat controversy, ties in with the mischaracterization point above, usually always portraying Mike as some infantilized ooh-woo version of himself. Ravenflock. Ravenflock was a hunter trait that was removed in Season 6. The description is as follows. When a survivor within 16, 24, or 32 meters alerts a crow, the crow will guide you to the precise location of the survivor. Alright, on to Tier 7, we begin with real weapons. As we already talked about, censorship has led to many characters' weapons being changed to other objects that aren't quite as scary. The biggest example being Leo's bone sickle being replaced with a shark plushie, or Smiley Face's chainsaw being replaced by his rocket, or Robbie and Lucino as we already discussed. It has been theorized that the earlier hunters have sillier weapons to help the game stay afloat when it was first released, and now that it has a large player base, they don't have to be so careful anymore. White Tombstone. White Tombstone is a fan-made Identity V RPG maker game. It's a story game with several different routes and is chock full of shipping fan service. Personally, not my cup of tea, but if anyone is interested, be sure to check it out. Idv Account Scams. Simply put, Idv account buying / trading is a huge market and a lot of people get scammed out of their accounts. Corpses in Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart Hospital used to have corpses scattered around the hospital. usually on the surgery tables covered up by a brown bloody cloth. One body even jumped up at the player as they walked by, but this was removed from the beta. This is not a dungeon. On the map Red Church, there is a cellar door over in the graveyard section of the map. This door has a note on it that reads in Chinese, "This is not a dungeon." Dungeons are alternate escape routes survivors can take when they are the only survivor left. Just a fun little Easter egg. Invisible pallets. This is another entry that eludes me. Sorry. Scary maps. This could refer to how maps were scarier during beta, or perhaps it refers to the Halloween versions of the map. I'm really not sure. Norman from the Promised Neverland. When Norman's skin from the Promised Neverland crossover was revealed, the devs misspelt it as Noaman. I will find you. This is written on the inside of the factory on Arms Factory. I believe it was written by Leo, aka Hell Ember, about Emma Gardner, his daughter. Fun fact, in the beta it was written in red, assumedly blood, but now it's just black. X-ray skins. The only info I can find on X-ray skins is Luca's Ray skin from the Promised Neverland crossover. Some call it the Luca X-ray skin, as in crossing the two. Sorry, again. Seer had a bowl cut. Eli, aka Seer's older model, had a bowl cut, but has since been updated. Don't pay attention to me and leave me alone. This is an embalmer quote from the 2020 Deduction Star event. It's meme because of how brash it is. Mr. Mole finds Acrobat alone, and Mr. Postman's Sunday morning. These are porn videos made with Identity V's 3D models. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Norton cannibalized his friends. This is a controversial theory that Norton ate the deceased bodies of his co-workers while he was trapped in a collapsed mine. This is likely not true, as Norton was trapped under rubble for most of his time stuck. Lying is my currency. Lying is my currency is a lawyer quote from the 2020 Deduction Star event. Pretty sus for a lawyer to be saying this. Pixel Polka. Pixel Peaker Polka Faster is a special edition chase music for survivors. It's generally seen as the most upbeat and lighthearted music in the soundtrack. SS Tier. SS Tier was a meme picking fun at how difficult it can be to obtain certain items, but it came true when the first Danganronpa crossover essence happened. Guard 26 got an SS Tier accessory that changed rocket chairs when survivors are placed on them. This meme came true again with the release of Perfrimu's SS skin, which is only obtainable after spending copious amounts of money on the Primrose Maze. Polun. Polun is a popular fan name for the breaking wheel. It comes from the Chinese characters Po and Lun. Nagito. I believe this refers to Nagito mercs, who are mercenaries who use the Nagito Komaida Danganronpa crossover skin. It seemed to be a bad skin, as many Danganronpa fans flooded IDV when the event was on. The taste of gold is mesmerizing. This is one of Prospector's quotes from the 2020 Deduction Star event. To be honest, I don't really know what it means, just a quote based on his greed. The Norton Campbell shipping paradox. Sounds intense, I know, but I can't find anything about this. I have no idea what this is referring to. Everyone is dead. This is a common saying, and for the most part, it's true. Most of the hunters are already dead, and many of the survivors are dead or die during their game. Mercmoans.mov. This is a meme video showcasing Merc's, excited moaning. DM with multiple limbs. I have no idea. Glowing map within Big Boat. On Lakeside Village, there is a glowing map on the Big Boat. This map fades to Chinese characters, but I can't find a translation anywhere. Leo was a survivor. Long before the identity system came out, Leo being a survivor was already confirmed. Orpheus's deduction of Leo was, in one diary entry he was punished for not writing his diary, but in other diaries the bandage-faced returned to the game as a hunter. These diaries offer conflicting descriptions of the same game. This completely calls into question the integrity of the hunter's records. So basically, Leo was a survivor before he became a hunter. Ashley Wood's controversy. NetEase did a collab with artist Ashley Woods, which included a figure of Geisha designed by Woods that many people had problems with. As instead of her traditional kimono, she is wearing a dress with slits up the side, exposing her legs. The fandom accused Ashley Woods of fetishizing Asian culture. Woods also designed a hunter named Percy, aka Undead, who most players despise going against, as his entire playstyle is bleeding out players. Victor and the Will brothers share a VA, as well as Lucino and Jose. This is true. Liu Yao plays both Victor, Postman, and the Will brothers, Breaking Wheel. Liu Yijia plays Jose, aka First Officer, and Lucino, aka the Evil Reptilian. However, Christian Banas plays Lucino's survivor form, Professor. TikTok crossover skin. Perfumer has a TikTok skin. It's kinda cute. Power chests. Power chests were little chests that spawn on the shore of Lakeside Village. They could give temporary buffs to both hunters and survivors. This feature was removed and there has never been any official reason stating why. Antonio has slept with someone. Not sure why this is on here. Antonio slept with a lot of women. This is hinted at in his second deduction, which is called Seductive Tune. It says, a music score stashed under a windowsill. I want you to know I had a wonderful night. This is something to remember me by. And in the 2020 event, Christmas Nocturne, he also drunkenly talks about a shameless princess on his bed. The man he was based on is also a well-known womanizer. Mike is a sadistic drug addict. This ties in with the mischaracterization entry. He's not sadistic. One of his dislikes is literally violence. He just works with dangerous chemicals for the circus show, and he can also be a little bit careless, once suggesting he could juggle rocks. His deductions speak of nitre, which is a chemical used to make gunpowder. He talks about mixing it in water and drinking it, so that's where people get the drug addict thing. Somebody help this guy. It's time for Tier 8. IDV accounts can be worth thousands. This is true. IDV has a large sell trade community, and a simple Google search will find you accounts selling for over $1,000. The Acrobat can clip out of bounds easily within Golden Cave. There are certain places on the Golden Cave map that Acrobat can jump out of bounds through. I'm not sure if these have been patched or not. Guys, Identity 5 is still bad document. This document is basically just a 50-page write-up on all the problematic things IDV has done. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Creatures banned emote. The Thief's Lie Down emote is no longer obtainable in the game, as it has been deemed inappropriate. He gets down on all fours, shakes his ass, and slaps it. But Explorer's Lie Down emote is still in the game. Model. Model reversed through room pictures that have certain models removed. I'm not sure how or why, but when the model is missing, it just says model in big red letters. Aesop is a necrophile. This is another edgy theory. Aesop prefers dead people to living because they are quiet and they leave him alone. He has a unique appreciation for death, but nowhere is it even hinted at that he has a sexual attraction towards dead people. Repeated whitewashing. Identity V whitewashes William, Patricia, and Ganji a lot in official art and in-game skins. Teleporting followers in cave. This is another entry that I can't find any information on. Black lawyer skin. The lawyer skin detective features Freddy in blackface. It's only available on the Chinese server, and I'm not 100% sure it's even on there anymore. Crushing skulls with the coffin. This became a meme after an IDV quiz was released, and one of the questions asking what Embalmer's ability was crushing skulls with a coffin. IDV is survivor sighted. This is a common saying in the community, and it is mostly true as survivors have the simple advantage that comes with being on a team. Especially when you have a 4-man group all playing together in voice chat. But honestly, the game can go either way. B4U drama. The NA-EU team B4U, formerly AO, has some drama surrounding a cheating scandal. Here's a great Reddit post about it. Basically, they timed the game entering times so they would be paired with their team's hunter. The survivors went from Team AO joined a regular match, while their hunter from AO joined a COA one. So when the AO survivors lose on purpose, they don't lose points for their team and their hunter gain points for them. The team blames the game on lag, which is just hilarious because it's such a bad excuse. You can check out the Reddit post here. Black blood glitch. There's a glitch where you can see black blood coming off of hit survivors. Hunters had this effect in the beta, but it's not supposed to be in the game anymore. Victor's head expanding. When Postman's skin Roll Call was released, his head was very large for some reason. Bobble. Bobble is a popular nickname for Robbie, aka Axeboy. It started on the official IDV website where his name was mistranslated to Bobble. I think it's very cute. Luck-based traits. A couple luck-based traits have been removed from the game, the biggest example being Doom Shock, which gave the hunter a chance to do double damage while a survivor is on a rocket chair. It was removed because the devs didn't want luck-based traits in tournaments. Blue Haster. Haster was censored on the Chinese servers to be blue instead of red. Not really sure why, I can only assume it's because it looked like blood. Stage play is canon. This is a common joke, as many people in the fandom prefer the stage play lore over the actual lore. But to answer your question, NetEase has confirmed that the stage play is not canon. God, I love it though. Tiger Eli plush having animal print speedos. This is exactly as it says. Eli's Torah plushie has little tiger print underwear. Veterans beta screams. The original beta characters had much more real and visceral screams. NetEase is biased towards Chinese servers. Obviously, NetEase is gonna be biased towards the Chinese servers. The majority of their player base is on there. This is understandable. Homophobia. I'm not sure about this one. Could be referring to the IDV Sucks document again. The $100 throne item. A package was released which included the DM Joseph skin and accessory. This package cost over $100, but it changes the rocket chairs to a throne, so it's totally worth it. Merc's moans were nerfed. As we already talked about, Merc moans a lot, but it was eventually toned down. And just like that, we're on to Tier 9. Colonel Sanders X Vera. This ship exists because of the KFC collab, which featured a skin for Vera, aka Perfumer. Welcome to Identit. This is a meme started by an error in one of the notices. Welcome to Identit. Kelvin. I believe this is just a misspelling of Kevin, aka Cowboy. Acrobat's gay lover was cut. The The only thing I can find on this is that it was a fake story someone added to the IDV wiki. High tier rank is easy. I believe this is just a meme because if you're a really high tier, you must be good, right? Lego bootlegs. Identity V bootleg Lego sets. Thank you. Very cool. Doom Shock. We talked about Doom Shock earlier, but here's the description. When a survivor is on the rocket chair and Hunter is 18 meters away, Hunter gains a 10%, 15%, or 20%, depending on mastery, chance to apply Doom Shock and produce double fear when attacking. Again, it was a remove because it was luck-based. Big Mac no meat. Big Mac no meat is an internet meme, so I assume it's been spammed in IDV chats. I can't find anything else about it though. Postwoman. The Postwoman is a fan-made character who the creator accused Identity V of stealing their design. This has since been debunked, however, as our postman came first. Dr. Angel Bee Skin. Doctor's Angel Bee Skin was simply a concept design of her A skin. Yidra concept art traced directly off of the other mother. Supposedly, this Dream Witch concept art was traced directly from the concept art of the other mother from Coraline. It looks pretty damning, I ain't gonna lie. NetEase has never said anything about it. Eye pipe and detective pipe accessories. These two accessories are extremely rare, and are only given to players as event rewards such as winning tournaments, competitions, art contests, etc. Lucky Guy in the basement. In the beta, there were multiple lucky guys trapped behind the bars in the basement. I don't know why, but this is really funny to me. The main story will never finish. This was and is a meme, but recently NetEase has actually made some story jumps, such as the Time of Reunion event. So there is hope. Emily fed the corpse of Emma's mother to dogs. As mentioned above, Emily accidentally killed Emma's mother in an abortion gone wrong. Emily then panicked, chopped up her corpse, and put it outside in a garbage bag. Stray dogs found the bag and tore it open to eat the meat. So yes, indirectly, Emily fed the corpse to dogs. Miss Nightingale is the owner of the manor. This is simply a theory, but some believe Miss Nightingale to be Orpheus's mother, and that she owns the manor. And we're on to the final tier. Tier 10. Hullabaloo's ringleader was a pedophile. This is another edgy theory. There's no evidence to support this other than what we already discussed about Mike's deductions. He's definitely a child abuser though. Secret room under red carpet. There is a secret room in the main lobby under the red carpet. It's a laboratory-like little room with numerous bottles and an examination table. It can be accessed through the main story. Joseph's stage play actor sells feet pics. I can find no confirmation of this, but Keisuke Igarashi does sell several photo books on Amazon. Some of them might have feet. Photos of the real-life Rippers' mutilated victims were recreated in-game. They were not created in-game, but there is art of a poster that features the fictional victims in similar poses to the real victims. This is kind of sus, NetEase. Egg. I'm not sure why this is so far down, it's just something that used to be spammed in English chats. Everyone is in purgatory and is paying for the sins they committed throughout their lives. This is a pretty popular theory that, as it states, everyone is in purgatory to pay for their sins. This kinda makes sense for some characters, as many of them have done horrible things, but it doesn't account for the characters who haven't done anything bad. Secret starving message in Golden Cave. If you look at the map Golden Cave from a top-down perspective, the structures of the map can make the word starving. This could be a reference to Norton's mining incident. Might not be, might just be an Easter egg. Everyone within the manor can never die and will be forced to play these games forever. This is another theory, but it was kind of debunked with the Time of Reunion update, as Orpheus reads the diaries that confirm that certain characters have died. You could say this is true for the stage play lore, though. And our final entry is banned skins. The Junji Ito crossover skin Picture Woman or Painted Girls is banned in China for being too gory and grotesque, but it remains on the global servers. This skin is most likely the reason why the Junji Ito collab will never come back. So there is quite a few entries on this list that I couldn't find anything about. So if there's any Identity V veterans out there who happen to see this, please comment and let me know if you know. And if you don't know, well, that's okay. I don't know either. What's going on? So that was the Identity V Iceberg. I really enjoyed making this video. I like researching. It's very fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I thank you all for watching. If you like this content, then be sure to subscribe because I have more planned. I'm thinking I might do a Genshin Impact Iceberg, but you know, no promises. And again, if you like this content, you can check out my Twitch because I stream almost every night. And yeah, we play Identity V, we play Genshin Impact. I'm playing Subnautica right now. All good fun. I'm live right now, so be sure to go check it out. And I hope you all have a good day wherever and whoever you are.